Welcome back to The Eminence in a Shadow anime review, episode number 10. Yep, this anime series is back. First time in a few weeks. Last time I did a review was basically the first this month. Yep. Yeah, the day before I went to Comic-Con was the last time I did this one, but now I'm back. Yep, I officially am back doing this one. So, basically, for now, I'm just going. The plan is to go through the rest of the season, and then basically, I will head back to Hurricane. I was planning doing 3, but because basically I've been working more lately, I decided just to go ahead and watch Hurricane, just finish the season. So, with this particular one, I originally was going to do this. The reason why I didn't do this like last week or whatever was because basically I didn't take a break for that one. The Hurricane I did. So, in the case of these 2 episodes, they're adapting from book 3 for the season. We have a lot of stuff happening in these episodes. So we start off with the 2 knights from the competition from last season show up at the lawless city. We actually see it for the first time. And it's a complete dump of a city. It's partial ruins, it's a slum. It's ruled by 3 people, one who was asleep. The one who's asleep is known as Mary the Blood Queen. The other 2 are Juggernaut the Tyrant, who's basically this very tall guy with a blade, and Yuriko the Spirit Fox. Well, basically a white fox. She's got 9 tails. Yeah. So, we have 2 knights here just to kill the Blood Queen. And they're being taken out by a guy called the White Devil. Like, wait, aren't you wanted by the law? Yeah, but now I work for her. And they get beaten up off. They basically attack him, and then we see them off screen where apparently they've been sold into slavery. Yes, because the law of this country, they can do whatever the heck they want. Like no law, nothing's doing it. So then we see Clyde being dragged by his sister. Oh, before I continue here, I did mention to Lucy Christian that I was watching this show. And she was very happy I got into this show because basically I got into 4 shows in the span of like a couple months. This was the 4th one. And she was very happy to hear the fact I got into 4 shows she was in. Especially this one, because one thing Claire has in common with another character she voices, which is Hestia, she has an obsession with the main character. Though in the case of Hestia, it's perfectly fine. But in the case of this, it's an older sister and little brother. But they reveal actually the reason for the obsession in episode 2. So we'll get to that. So right around they get lost, and we see behind them on the wall, we see like a one poster for Rose. Yes, Rose. And we see somebody who just proceeds to pickpocket him. He takes their money back. We're like, oh, yeah, just basically I made all this money by somebody just standing there. And then we see 3 guys beating up a ghoul. You thinking, wait, is the ghoul like Tokyo? No, this is a freaking vampire. And then the moon turns red, which they hint at basically around with the T-Shadow at the new headquarters, one of their bases they have, where he's like sitting in this massive throne and everyone's like bowing to him. Yep, so like, oh yeah, and then the moon comes out and then we see she's saved by Mary, the ancient vampire hunter, which in the book they don't call her that till a little bit later. Yeah, here it's like he's like, who are you? I'm Mary, the ancient vampire hunter. He just introduces us Mary. Does not say ancient vampire hunter at all till a little bit later. Yeah, it's a beautiful woman with long red hair. So then she proceeds to run into Claire later on, which she finds, Claire's like, oh crap, our brother's been taken hostage, but the vampire uses a sacrifice. Gotta go save it because she's got basically her brother complex. That's basically Claire's character. She's got a brother complex. Now, I don't blame Lucy Christian for basically how she formed the character. That's not her fault. It's how the character was written. So, but she actually is a good swordswoman. So then Clyde proceeds to switch to Shadow, where he then proceeds to save a prostitute being killed by a ghoul. And of course, he interferes in the fight between the Juggernaut and the Spirit Fox, and he introduces himself. And the dude is right in front of the Crimson Tower, where he's actually above the tower for some reason, and then he proceeds to jump down to basically make an entrance. He kills the watchdog pretty easily, And then, okay, so in the book, they cut the thing in the anime where, excuse me, so how in the world, they had this thing where Claire and Mary meet up, and of course they agree to each other, and then they go inside. In the book, they mention they have to dig a hole in order to get there, because it's basically a tunnel. Here, it's like, oh, they run into the tower, and they seem to see them they're in the library, which is something they do good in the actual book itself. Which is kind of weird, they cut that line out, but maybe it was for time. Maybe. I mean, I get the fact, yes, the book does not mention them actually digging this particular hole, but they had to do it because it was only getting inside because all the vampires outside because of this red moon thing, which they changed it a bit in the anime where it's like it's already happening. It's like the anime made a little bit more big deal of it than the book did about this red moon, and of course they explained the backstory later on where Mary, like, she basically went from like this special haven where she live peace with basically humans. Humans will risk hunting like livestock, and then the humans found about their weakness. Somehow it's not really explained here. Mary liked it, so they proceeded to live in peace, like get everything on blood, and it was really perfectly fine. And then Red Moon hits, and she goes to frenzy, kills everybody in the haven, exception for Mary. Elizabeth, that's her name. Elizabeth basically survives. That's her name. So Mary was actually a maid before she went vampire hunter, and then she apparently decided she actually is a vampire working for her. So in the book, basically, she's like really want to kill her. In the anime, it's like she's a bit more sympathetic. That's how she's written in the anime, in the book. So she does mention some people are actually against some of her policies, but it's not like basically. And here's the thing, that actually was not mentioned here so far. I haven't got that far yet, so we're really early on the story. Oh, by the way, also Clyde's entourage, they briefly show up here, and they're seen being chased by vampires. Okay. Yeah, and they're like, ooh, we're going to get laid. And then vampires attack. And then basically see him running. Clyde does not see him the whole these two episodes. Meanwhile, though, Clyde does somehow again. Now, we do see Claire and Mary get inside the library where they meet up with Beta, who's there with numbers 664, 665, and 666. And to make it up in perspective, 666 is Rose. Yeah, it's clearly Rose. In the book, basically, they don't say it's Rose. It just 666 is here. It implies some connection here, but from the anime perspective, you watch it, that's clearly Rose. We already knew she became a member of the organization. Yeah, though I did not think it was necessary to have her clothes be basically ripped to shreds like the way it was last season. And to just now in the book, basically, what happened was that she was asked to strip naked. In the anime, it's like, your clothes, and of course, they try to bring his finger and just use the slime to basically shred her clothing, basically revealing her butt nakedness. And here's the thing. In episode 1 of this season, we actually see a woman's rear end. So, will not be the last time we see nudity in this season, at least in the series. But not surprising, the woman's a prostitute. And of course, she's saved by Shadow, and then she's to run away. And of course, Shadow proceeds to be thanked by the Spirit Fox. Apparently, the prostitutes work for her. Interesting. Excuse me. So, I'm out of time to do this one. So, basically, the plan of Crimson. By the way, his subordinates be killed one at a time. I mentioned, oh yeah, like there's this guy, like oh yeah, they meet with Juggernaut, where it's like, oh, like he killed the third strongest vampire, fifth strongest, unknown number, and then of course Claire gets punched in the face, Mary gets knocked off, and Claire proceeds to stab in the foot. And then, of course, Mary needs blood after she's been sliced by Juggernaut. So then she proceeds to kiss her. If you're curious, did this happen in the book? Yes, it did. Mary kissed Claire. Yes. Though the way presented in the way the artwork presented in the book, it seems like it was a full, like they mentioned earlier, I need to suck your lips. Here it's like that line was cut. Probably because basically you can tell just by watching the scene here, it's Claire being kissed by a beautiful woman who is actually 1,000 years older than she is. Now, I personally don't have a problem with this at all because it's in the book. And then right afterwards, they explain the whole backstory. And Claire reveals that she has hints of possession as far back as when she was a child. And, like, think of possibly maybe cured. That's all their secrets. Like, went back to Mary the Vampire, and of course, Claire's got signs of possession. Of course, they go off to find where Elizabeth is, and then we see Lord Crimson. We see take Elizabeth's heart from her bones, putting the guy who's supposed to be Clyde. It looks like him, but then of course, basically, he's about to perform a ritual, and then basically Shadow comes in and basically kills him, and then the thing explodes. Like, oh, yeah, it was really weird. Yeah, it was kind of a weird ending to the episode. I did not know why. It's like, hey, the guy instigated this whole thing. It's like, oh, he's killed off like an episode after his debut. Yeah, that's a bit anticlimactic. And if you're curious, did that happen in the book? Yes, it did. Though I think it might have to take a little bit longer in the book than it was in the episode itself. At least it happened at the end of the episode. Not halfway through, which is nice. Yep. But yeah. These two episodes are pretty good. That's going to be pretty much a particular video. Please be sure to like, comment, subscribe, turn notifications, and do not hit the dislike button. I would do that video, but I gotta leave really soon to go to a birthday party. My aunt's birthday party. Yep. And when I get back from the party, I'll probably go a chance to go ahead, watch 2 episodes, do this My Hero Academia review, and then move the One Piece. Which looks like that might be the only anime once they get released this week. Yep. Thanks for you. Bye.